This is Season 2, Episode 33 of the Out of the Minds podcast. I'm Sean Oakley.
And I'm Sam Cooper, and today we have the Tin Squadron Losers Table.
Yeah, alright, fair dues. I mean, I drew if we want to be pedantic, but... yeah, no, fair dues. I did lose, just to a roll, but... spoilers. We are looking at my top 4 game against Chris Burnett from Nationals, which anyone who watched or listened last week and saw the final knows I'm not in it. So we know how it goes. But it's quite interesting because I played Chris the last round of Swiss and beat him. It was a tough match. But everything I kind of did right in that match, it's not that I didn't do it in this match. I just went about it the wrong way, and it's quite interesting to look at.
Right.
So, for that note, I ended up taking Separatists, and I've been flying the pizza delivery list-ish. For the last couple of weeks at Club Night. So it's got the 3 bombardment drones with struts, fuses, and prox mines. It's got Sunfac with Afterburners, Predator, and Ensnare. But whereas a lot of the lists that have been doing well have got Grievous and DFS 311 in them, I've taken those 6 points of ships and turned them into 2 Geonosian prototypes, much as Sam has. And I think our loadouts are pretty much identical, aren't they? They've both got shells. One has sync laser cannons and one has Kraken.
Yep. To me, if you're running multiple droids, that is the default pair of Geonosian prototypes. Obviously, if you're running less droids, then yeah, you take off Kraken and put synced on both.
I think 3 bombardment drones are enough, and the 2 things are enough to warrant Kraken, because it just... particularly with the network calculation on the 3 bombers, it opens up actions for them. They can lock so that the HMPs get actions. They can do scenario actions. Like, they can barrel roll to get into the way of things and block.
Yeah.
And then if you've got, 6 calculates floating around, great.
Yeah, that is the way that the droids survive, is by sharing all their calculates. And so if you have 3 more, it just is more to go around. It's that much harder to kill.
Yeah. And everyone should remember Chris's list from last week. It was Commander Poe, Ray, Zori, and Pam in the couch.
So obviously important things here is Commander Poe has a heavy laser cannon, Ray is the typical Ray build, Zori has a plasma torpedo, and Pam has Leia.
Yeah, actually, the critical thing in this matchup is Zori has a dorsal turret.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, what happened in Swiss was basically I almost was allowed, I suppose, to send Sunfac off against the 2 small spaces that weren't Poe, and Sunfac just obliterated the couch, and that transport was my main target, because Poe doing things like white 3 talons and 4Ks and stuff is just obscene.
Blue 3 hard.
Yeah, exactly. Like, my main goal in both matches was to get the couch. So we are... And the other thing, in Swiss, we played Chance Engagement, which I think... I won't say heavily favours me, but definitely favours me, because one of my bombers is... everything except Sunfac is half of Ray, and you've got to kill it. And the lesser half of Ray. Even killing a bombardment drone only nets you 1 more point than half of the other 2 ships. So
yeah.
But in this one, we are playing salvage, which again I think favours me because I have the action economy. I have ships that don't want to boost that much, apart from Sunfac. But let's be honest, once he's burnt afterburners, the tractor shenanigans aren't affected by crates. So yeah, and neither of the side slips on HMPs.
Yeah. So, whereas Poe definitely doesn't want to pick it up, Ray could and probably isn't massively impacted.
Yeah.
So actually, no, I guess Chris doesn't mind salvage in theory.
And it doesn't mind. I just think I have a slight 6 ships, and Ray does like her boost.
Yeah.
And it does come in critical here, as you will see. So, objectives. I am first player. I make actually quite a few turn 0 mistakes. I think over the course of the game, there are 4 mistakes that don't necessarily cost me the game, but certainly contributed to that. 2 of them are turn 0, 2 of them are during the game, and there are a few other little mistakes. So we'll go through turn 0, and then I'll tell you what I think I did wrong, and you can give me your read on it, Sam, as the much longer Separatists player. So I set up. I think I'm first player for turn 0. So I set up the objective on my side as close to my board edge in the middle as I can. And then Chris sets up his objective that's range 2 and a bit from the centre down in his right corner. So
Right.
it's not quite as far as you can get it, but it's also not... No, I'm sorry, Chris is first player. So he sets that one up first, and then I set up my one. And then he sets up his one on my side as far up as he can towards the centre, sort of, that kind of standard tucked in. And I spent absolutely ages trying to squeeze mine in on the opposite side. And we had the template, and I literally get it in after half a mil shimmying and shammying, and the range rulers were literally touching each thing but not overlapping, and because I didn't want it the other side because I'd have to put it too deep into Chris's
territory.
And then we go to rocks. And I brought 2 large rocks and the large debris for the tournament because the droids want something they go sit on. And Chris has brought the finger rock, as he names it, the pepper rock, and 2 gas clouds because he probably thought he'd be flying against droids. And so we end up with, I can't remember the order it's placed in. I know I placed a big rock inside the triangle of 3, so Ray can't just shoot into there. But we basically end up with one of the big rocks, the finger rock, and a gas cloud just on Chris's side of the centre line, running from, as he would look at it, right to left. A debris closer to his side, just down and left from the finger rock. And then I've got a large rock and a gas cloud, basically 2 and 2 in my bottom left and right corners. And I'm pretty sure I placed both of those so I could get past them. So we go to ships. Because I'm first player, I set up everything except Sunfac. And then Sunfac. So I set up the HMPs to the right-hand side of the centre line. My thoughts there were I one straight with both of them turn 1. I send something fast turn 2 to grab the centre one, and the Kraken carrier, who's at the back, picks up the one closest to me. Just on that note, the overlay colours I'm not entirely sure are right for the bombers, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. And for the HMPs, for anyone watching, the one that you can see that has a marker, it's green, is the Kraken carrier. The one with no marker is the not Kraken carrier. And so I then set up the bombers to the right of that. So I set them up in an R shape because my thoughts were there is I'm going to go down that lane. I'm going to collect the one closest to me, the one in the centre, and the one that Chris placed on my edge, and then I'm going to swing left into the gaps. Because if Chris has put something on that side and chases me, I'll just drop the prox mines. And if Chris puts everything on the other side, I'll just go into them and launch the prox mines. It's kind of what the list does, really. Like, I'll try and, do some side slips and stuff to get in the way and block and stuff. And Sunfac will try and get round to something small based and start doing Sunfac things. So then it goes to Chris's setup. I'll let you just run through that. He sets up everything except Poe.
Yeah, so Pam is basically on your left hand side, Chris is right, about midway. He's like halfway on the halfway mark between the middle and the right hand side, right at the back.
Yeah, it's just enough that if he came forward, he'd skirt past the rock.
Yeah, and right at the back. Then Zori is set up to Pam's right, slightly ahead, presumably so Zori can bank around and Pam can bank around and they can do all their action sharing shenanigans. And then Ray is set up just to the right of center, aiming basically at the center objective. There's a great big gap for her to go in, and she has options after the first turn to either like swing left, swing right, or go straight, depending on what you actually do.
Yeah. So I set up Sunfac on the right-hand side. Basically, I'm going to gun him down that side. If Ray turns in towards him, I've got space to dive into the middle away from her. If she doesn't, maybe I can get round the back and then start doing Sunfac things. Like if I have to 5 straight turn 1... Oh, and obviously I'll have seen where Ray's gone. If I have to 5 straight afterburners turn 1, 5 straight afterburners turn 2, and burn both those charges, to then be able to 5 straight in behind stuff turn 3, fine.
Yeah.
Like, the afterburners doesn't have to be in the scrum trying to find the bullseye. Sometimes it's just great on setup.
Yeah.
The fact that you can actually 5 straight afterburners to change your angle, then do a tractor boost, really nets you some distance.
Yeah.
And then Poe goes down.
And Poe is just to the right of Ray. He's basically... he's about as far forward as he can go. He's in between Pam and Ray, and he's got his wings closed. And I'm not sure where Chris is planning on going with him, because he's going straight to a rock, so there's got to be a bank in the immediate future.
Yeah.
I guess this is more of a, where is Sean going? Do I need to skirt around the outside, or can I dive in?
Yeah. So for anyone watching, apologies. I think the internet at the venue on the day wasn't 100%. So the stream gets a little blurry. It also conks out for about half an hour while it's buffering while I was recording this and I was busy downstairs. So I will skip past that, but apologies when you see stuff moving around. Yeah. Right. Let's talk about turn 0 and the mistakes I made. First mistake was the scenario placement on my side. Because what I should have done... That's great when you want to slow roll.
Yeah.
But I need to get kind of into the middle to scare anyone off of just nicking in and pinking one of those. So what I should have done with that one was placed it range 2 of the centre, not as far away as I could.
Okay.
Because then I can get up further without leaving one of the ships behind. What I should have done was set up completely different. I shouldn't have gone after the 3. I don't think I should have gone after the 3 I went after. What I should have done was I should have set up the HMPs just to the other side of the centre, and the bombers to the left of those.
Okay.
Because if Chris sets up opposite, like he has done basically, and comes at me, fine. He's got some. The plasmas are alright against the HMPs. Pam's got a 3 dice, and Poe and Ray are bruisers, but it's only 4 shots I'm taking. I would be, I think, unlucky to lose 2 ships before I shoot.
Yeah.
And then if we're gunning in like that, it's prox mine time and stuff, and I'm not going to say I win that joust, but like
it's scary. It might make Chris blink.
I'm not afraid of it. And by setting up further on my left, I'm still looking to collect the 2 centres straight away. But I'm then providing a threat towards 2 other objectives, not 1. And the other one is kind of I suppose because I've set up here, it's a mistake rather than if I'd set up over there. It's Sunfac. Like, it's just a little, in hindsight, it's just a little bit too much distance, I think. I think I should have set him up opposite Zori and just sort of milled around, I suppose.
So, I got another thing to say for your deployment. Like, I can see why you didn't, though, because, like, essentially that is just baiting Poe to be at opposite, and Sunfac versus Poe Zori is relatively dangerous for Sunfac.
But I could always just hard one and fight straight away, like... But, yeah. Anything else, because obviously you play this kind of list a lot more than I have, that you've spotted.
So it's interesting that you think you should have gone left, because I'm looking at this and thinking, going for the objectives is fine, but you've got the wrong ships going for the wrong objectives.
Okay.
Because I look at this and think, okay, you want someone to slow roll where your home objective is, absolutely fine. That's what the Kraken carrier can do, because he wants to be near the back. He has a shell, but he wants to live.
Yeah.
So he one straight. He flips the wings open on his second one, grabs the crate, and then on turn 3 you can side slip behind where you're you can side slip to the right, and then you're behind your bombardment drones who are yeeting at the center.
Yeah.
You have your other gunship near where Sunfac is, and he yeets for that side objective. And basically, you go like 5 straight, and you turn in, pick up the objective, and then he's with the bombardment drones and the Kraken carrier. So you picked up 2 objectives, and you're roughly facing where, like, the enemy might be. Like, because you can split up a little bit. Like the gunship, the prototypes don't need to be near each other.
See, I'm just so used to setting them up like next to each other or one in front of each other.
And to me, it's just like that way you have your gunships have the 2 of the objectives. That probably means they're keeping them for the rest of the game. Your bombardment drones are in the center, at least threatening the center objective.
So would you have set up the bombardments the other side of...
No, I think the bombardments are fine where they are. Like, I honestly just think that your front gunship just needs to be on the right-hand side so he can pick up the objective, and you're not thinking, I need my bombardment drone to stay...
Yeah.
Like, your bombardment drone doesn't want to go straight. You want your bombardment drones to go straight and then bank.
I see, it's funny you should say that, because that does actually make a big point in this game, so...
Because what you want is your gunship with the sync laser cannons to be where Sunfac is, go forward fast, and then do like a hard turn in, pick up that crate, and then can go fast behind the gunships.
Yeah.
Behind the bombardment drones. Like that's the way I would do it. Like I don't mind. I mean, yeah, sure, if Chris sets up opposite you, fine, but with the way the rocks are, where you set up, if Chris sets up opposite you, he's making it really hard for himself.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there's the debris, the finger rock, and the gas cloud all kind of in the way, and yeah, you can't land on gas clouds, but your bombardment drones, if they sit on a gas cloud and get ionized, they don't care. Chris probably isn't going to shoot it, and chances are someone's going to be in front of them to drop a prox mine. Like, the gas cloud doesn't stop a mine.
Yeah. Okay.
And if they don't shoot, fine, whatever.
Yeah, fair. I mean, they're not really there to do much damage with the...
Sunfac, I'm not sure on. I think I understand what you're going for, but he probably is just too far away.
Yeah.
But so maybe setting up opposite Zori could have been better.
Or even in the center and
Yeah, or near the center. I just feel like if you set up opposite Zori, you got to commit yourself to being like, and we're not facing that.
Yeah. Right. Well, let's get into it then.
Yeah. Because yeah, like one of your win conditions is objectives.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
That's
just what separatists
do. It's kind of half the reason why I brought this list. Like I don't do the objectives enough, and I need to practice them. So, but my HMPs both do a 1 straight and calculate, and all my bombardment drones do a 4 straight and calculate.
Pamich does what? Pamich does looks like a 3 straight and focuses.
Yeah, I think it was a 3 straight and focuses.
Which lets Zori take a focus. It looks like the charge has been spent, and then Zori does a 3 straight and.
I don't think did bother with another action.
Did another action
because there's no. I didn't have jam. He asked if I had jam, so.
Ray does a hard 2 to the left, basically saying, "All right, Sunfac, I'll take that."
Sunfac 5 straights and just takes a focus because I'm reasonably confident I'm diving into the left on the next turn.
Okay. So, I'm going to say, if you're reasonably confident, you should have committed afterburners, tractor barrel to the left, and be like, I need to angle myself so I can go fast into the center.
Fair enough.
That is very minor, but I think...
The issue I had...
Ray can't really get you next turn. There's a debris cloud in the way.
Yeah, the issue I had was... I knew I wanted to do a 1 straight with the bombardment drones to pick up that thing, and I was worried I'd be in the way. Whereas I was reasonably confident that I could 3 hard past the 1 straights.
That is fair. I guess with the crate being there, it's awkward.
And depending on what Ray does, like I thought there's a chance a 3 bank skirts round, and I was like, I kind of think I'd rather just be sat behind the gas cloud, and get that extra green. But
yeah, like to me, my instant thought is Sunfac needs to. I think this is a turn where you spend an afterminutes because you need to because. When I see Ray do that, I'm like, okay, Sunfac needs to redefine the engagement because Ray is committed to going that way. And sure, a 3 bank might swing her around the debris, but if Sunfac is pointing towards where Poe and Zori are, who cares? You just 5 straight again.
Yeah. Fair.
And then Ray can do whatever she likes.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's my instant thought when I saw that and you just focus. I was like, no. You need to be juking because Ray's committed.
Fair enough. And Poe just does a 1 bank, a barrel rolls in behind Ray.
Yeah, basically trying to play the hey Sunfac, come fight 2 of us. So this is where the 1 straight with the bombers is going to slow your game down a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. And yeah, in hindsight, doing exactly what you said would be a lot better, right?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. In hindsight, that bomb, the Geonosian prototype that's picking up in my imaginary thing, the Geonosian prototype that's picking up that right one is a little concerned at Ray and Poe right now. So maybe I would have chickened out on that one. I'd have tried to get out fast, but yeah.
So for that last round, Kraken kept calculates on the 2 Geonosian prototypes and the bomber that I'm planning on picking up a crate with. And so we go into the next round, and the front Geonosian does a 5 straight and claims picks up the center objective. The back one does a 1 straight and picks up that one. And then my bomber's all 1 straight. The one that's got a calculate already nabs the crate, and the others just calculate.
Ham doesn't have a 3 straight and claims Chris's home crate.
That's a 2 straight.
2 straight? Oh, I thought he picked.
Only because I know the tin template.
Yeah. And then Zori does a 2 straight and picks up the far right hand crate. Ray does 3 bank around the debris, and it does make it. And this is, again, I'm going to hark on this up. This is to my point. If Sunfac was basically roughly where the bomber was that picked up the crate, but pointing towards like where Poe is, Ray either boosts to get a shot onto a gunship or a bomber, or just rotates and then Ray is sad.
Yeah. Because I don't think a 3 hard would have got round the debris, right?
No, I don't think a 3 hard would have got round.
Although at that point, does Ray really care? You don't get the focus, but she's got force mod. She still gets all the shenanigans.
True, but I reckon the risk of your tail end landing on that debris is way too much.
Fair.
To do that, but either way, it's meaningless. That's what I thought. Here comes Ray. She's banked around the debris.
But it's an interesting take because it's not that I didn't even consider that at the time.
Yeah, and does boost for a stress.
So Sunfact does this 3 hard. It puts me pretty much exactly where I expected to. I afterburn this boost because no way am I being in Ray's arc. And then I opt to take a tractor and barrel roll to the left to put me the other side of the finger rock.
Yeah.
And I take a focus because I figured I don't know where Poe's going. The likelihood is if he has a shot on me from there, it's obstructed, so that kind of counteracts the tractor.
Yeah. And Chris ums and ahs about the wings, does flip them. That looks like the 2 straight again. Takes a target lock onto Sunfac, and he poses himself a focus.
Yes. And then he shoots Sunfac.
Alright, it looks like we can't see dice.
Oh, that's because but both Chris and I refuse to roll in the dice tray half the time. So
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he does nothing to Sunfac.
Yeah. So then we've got Ray shooting the objective carrying bombardment drone through a gas cloud, I think?
No, I believe it's just non-obstructed.
Unfortunate.
I can't remember. Let me see how many dice I get. Right, hang on. This is where it conks out for quite a long time, so bear with me.
All right.
Oh, look, I've just skipped 10 minutes and it's exactly the same.
Buffering, na-na-na-na. I can just see the little circle flicking occasionally.
Oh, that's because I'm moving across on the timeline because I know I'm close to where it... There we go. Right. Can I go back so we can see?
So all of the force has been spent for
so
Ray.
Basically, what has happened is Ray has lobbed her hammer, done her stuff, and she got 2 damage through. One of them was a crit. This is onto the crate carrying bomber, so that's gone. And it's a panicked pilot. Very unfortunate. Yeah, that crit doesn't screw me, but makes life a lot harder. And then basically, it then flips to me, and I just shoot Ray a lot. I just plink, yeah. It's one, it's plink, it's plink.
Looks like all 3 of the bombardment drones and 1 of your gunships should have a shot.
Yeah. And I get Ray down to 8. So shields are gone.
So basically shields gone.
And now I have a decision to make, and that's, do I turn everyone towards Ray and try and get a block and drop prox mines on her, or not? And I weigh this.
I might have tried it.
So, spoilers, I don't.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I would. I might have. Because I'm looking at Poe.
Yeah, I'm concerned about Poe. But also, if I turn against Ray and I misjudge it, she blats me and my entire list is facing the wrong way. And I think what I would need to block... Because I was assuming a 3 sloop comes here.
Yeah.
What I thought would block that, or what I thought the only thing that might block that, is a hard turn in from the bottom bombardment drone, and then a barrel roll. But it's double stressed.
Yeah.
So I don't. I turn away. And then I figured if Ray chases me, then I just drop the mines. And also I was curious about Poe. I wasn't sure what Poe would do. Would he come down there and face all that? Or would he just hard 2 and try and get Sunfac?
My assumption is that, like, I think Poe can't afford to go straight. You hard 2, you got the R4. No, he doesn't have R4, but he has layer, so he can make it blue. You hard 2 and try and get out of the zone. Because if you go straight, you are committing to death.
Amusingly, I just assumed he had a hard 2. Had an R4, sorry, because I'm so used to it being on Poe. Yeah, I was expecting the hard 2.
And I reckon like Sunfat can just do like a 2 straight and be quite happy.
Oh, I don't do that. But...
Or a 3 straight.
Scenario points, by the way, it is 1 to me. Hang on, it can't be 1 to me because I picked up 3.
Oh yeah, you should have 2.
Yeah, so
it should be 2-2.
Ignore the scenario points for a reasonable amount of this time because they miss me dropping crates and apparently picking up crates and stuff. So it gets to a point. I think it says 11-11, and that is incorrect. And it then goes to 10-7 because they check with us.
Right.
But anyway, so I am first player. I'm first player quite a lot. And here comes the first in-game mistake. I do a 5 straight with the HMP. Because what I wanted to do, I thought it would sit me just in front of the debris, and then I was going to barrel roll to the left and try and block that hard 2.
Yeah.
I just clip the debris. I mean, you can see how close it is.
Yeah, it's close.
I just clip it. But, yeah, it is what it is. I flip the stabilizers because I'm probably going to do a 2 hard side slip and swing in behind on the next turn, and quite frankly, just try and get away from people and have my crate. But I take a stress. I don't think I take a damage, but it's awkward because I really needed that block.
Yeah, you did.
My Kraken carrier just does I think a 2 straight and takes a calculate.
Yep.
I actually wonder whether I should have locked there because I already had a calculate. But
I think locking would have been worth it, but I think you could only really lock Ray, and I don't reckon you're trying to shoot Ray. Like, if you were trying to go for Ray, I think you would go the other way. A second calculate is good for your bombers.
So my red bombardment drone does a 3 hard to the left and calculates. Orange does a 1 hard to the left and calculates because otherwise I smack into Sunfac.
Yep.
And blue does a 2 and ditches 1 of the stress.
So then Pam looks like is 1 banking to the left and takes a focus, basically kind of facing down your swarm. And Zori does what looks like a 2 hard to the left, has a focus.
Had a focus from Pam, I believe.
Oh, is it a focus from Pam? And
2 hards because she's got an R4 and then locks the front bomber.
Yeah. Looks like Ray just did a 2 bank to the left. Looks like
it wasn't. It was a 3 bank to the left.
A 3 bank to the left, and has layered it.
Yeah. Has the shot at the back. Just takes the focus. Surprised me a little bit because, as I say, I thought I saw the sloop coming, but
yeah.
Chris says he was worried I would turn in on Ray, but I'll be honest, I don't really see what a huge difference between the sloop and a bank would get you, because, alright, you pick up another stress, but it's Ray, she doesn't care that much.
I think he wanted the option to boost away.
I mean, that's fair.
Sunfac does, or is that a 3 straight?
It is a 3. Like? I do a 3 straight. Because I was really, really hoping to be second player.
Right.
And
well, you rotate the turret to the right, barrel to the right, and focus, right?
So I make a small mistake here. In fact, I make quite a big mistake. What I do before I do that, if it plays, is I afterburners to the right.
Okay. No, I can see that. It sort of gets you out of the scariness, because Zori got a lock on you.
No,
Zori's locked the bomber.
Poe has a lock on me. I then take a tractor, I rotate to the right, and apparently I don't move myself. Not entirely sure why. Oh, why? I don't know why I didn't move myself there. I really should have moved myself there. Why didn't I?
All right. Well, you focus though. That is your focus token.
Yeah, I take a focus.
Yeah.
And Poe just does a 1 bank.
And focuses, yeah.
And literally just slides in, which is interesting because it means if I'd done the 4 and barrel rolls, I must have just caught him.
Yeah, you'd have blocked him, I reckon.
Not by much, but block's a block. Oh man, I really wish I'd. But I was kind of looking at that going, all right, Poe's kind of got to come behind me next turn.
Yeah.
And then I I got Sunfac can't pass the tractor over because it's just out of range 1. But I plink a shield off Poe with the turret. Somehow Chris's bullseye is skirted past the rock so that the shot's unobstructed. He's got, I believe it's a HLC into me. Although he's only maybe it's not because he only rolled 3.
It looks like he didn't take any damage.
Yeah, I didn't take any damage there. Then it goes to Zori. Does he do Ray first? Someone plinks 1 damage. No, someone takes a lot of damage off. I'm not sure if it's which one it is. I think it's blue. I think red on the overlay is blue. No, it can't be because that's the panic.
No, it can't be. I think it's the one that Poe shot. It's red.
Okay.
I have a feeling the overlay might just be delayed.
Yeah. One of my bombardment drones is now down to 1 after Poe, Zori, and Ray have shot. So then it gets to my bombardment drones, and I start shooting into Pam because that's where I can plink the damage off.
You do plink off the crate.
I plink off the crate, and I strip the shields off her. And then I believe I sneak a crit through as well for good measure. And I can't remember what it is. And it's not on the overlay yet. Pam goes back into me, I believe into the one health bomber, and I managed to dodge it. I'm pretty sure, actually, I might be misremembering, but I'm pretty sure that bomber took like 2 direct hits.
I see stunned pilot directed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I remember it taking a sec, or maybe it was the one that kills it that takes a second. But I was like, okay. Yeah. So Poe's can't go straight. Ray's kind of taken herself out for a couple of turns because she's got to get round the gas cloud. Or at least certainly a turn. Sunfac is in a position to start coming in behind Zori and Pam. And I just need to kind of yeet forward with the bombers and get hope. And, I probably lose at least one of them this turn. But then
your 1 health guy, he just throws himself as far forward as he can.
Yeah. I think I should do a 3 because the 4's red, right? No, I do a 4 because the 5's red.
That makes sense, because ideally you want to block like a 1 straight or a 1 bank if you can. Yeah. That way when Sunfac goes around the thing, he's just that much closer.
So I am first player again.
And it's 2-1 on crates you got that round. Yeah.
So my non-Kraken carrying HMP does a 2 side slip behind Poe. And effectively now is out of the game for the rest of it. He doesn't contribute a whole lot.
All right. Why did you go that way? I got to ask.
Because if I'd gone the other way, would I have not gone... I might have scooted around the debris field, but...
I think you'd have scooted around the debris field and you can just go straight and you can still be in the game.
I wasn't sure with a 2 hard whether it would have or not. And obviously
that's fair. It's just that's my question, because I was like... Because when I saw it, I was like, well, he's going down that way. Like, because if he goes right, that way he's definitely behind Poe. And then he can just go straight and rejoin the fight.
My thoughts at the time were Poe's probably going left to something, because...
Yeah.
And then I'd probably get a shot, because half arcs are great. And then if I jump the other side, I might be able to just plink shots out the side. But more importantly, if he's just ticking me up the scenario points at this point.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. My thought was like, I was just surprised you went that way, because I was like, if you go the other way, you get like the same result, but you can also... help Sunfac. Be like, if Sunfac needs to pass a tractor off to a friend, that guy is there.
So the Kraken carrying HMP does the 2 hard to the left. Just trying to get more guns onto the 1 agility ships. I've got a shell. Let's see if we can lob that.
All good.
I flip my stabilizers because I think I'm gonna side slip next turn, or I can just shoot off straight if I need to, and calculates. Red does the 3 straight and picks up the crate because I was kind of hoping to get the bumps so that I take the unmodded shots. Blue, I think,
there's a 2 straight and calculates.
And then orange does a 4 straight over the HMP and calculates.
Yep, I like all of this.
I did consider barrel rolling or trying to barrel roll orange in towards red so I'd have more prox mines overlapping the same area. I wasn't sure it fit though, was the...
I think you'd be correct there. So I'm assuming Pam's about to reverse. Yeah, so Pam uses the force to do a white 1 reverse and target locks a bomber, which lets Zori take a target lock. Zori does a 1 straight and then focuses.
Yes.
Because Zori locks the bomber that is far back, and that way can launch a torpedo. Happy days.
Yes.
What did Ray just do? That
Ray just did a 3 hard, I believe.
Okay.
And then boosts. Sunfact did a 1 hard. Takes a tractor, boosts forward, rotates to the left to try and get range 1 of the couch and focuses.
Poe does a 1 bank to the left and closes his wings and boosts straight. So what's interesting here is I guess he's just trying to get out of the reach of like potential prox mines.
Yeah,
like, he's essentially his 2 heavy hitters are sort of just are not going to be relevant for a turn.
Yeah. So we trade shots. I won't run through all of this. Ray gets a shot onto the Kraken carrier. Is this another buffering? There we go. Jump past it.
Blaps most of the shields.
Yeah.
Blaps all of the shields, in fact.
I'm just going to skip through this because basically I try and pummel into Pam as much as I can. Zori successfully kills the bombardment drone with 1 health left. So that goes before I get to kill anything. We're just checking for the shell. No dice, so I go into Zori with the Kraken carrying shell. Do I do a shell? No, I think I do it primary and I get 1 shield. So at the end of that round, I have shot Ray with something.
You haven't shot Ray.
What have I shot?
No one's shooting Ray.
Okay,
I think the overload. I think stuff has happened on the other because you'll notice the 1 health. I'm pretty sure the 1 health bombardment drone is he bumped into Zori.
That must have been the turn before then, because Ray does have a disabled power regulator and is down to 6. But one of my bombardment drones is dead. 1's on 4, 1 with a fuel leak, and 1's on 3. And it's quite funny actually because I remember Chris saying that I was doing quite well at getting crits to keep the crates off, but it doesn't look like he's doing a half bad job either.
I know, right?
And now I'm kind of like, all right, Ray's going to come up behind me. Poe's probably just going to turn around. Zori's still... I've got to, at this point, try and finish off Pam. Which, in hindsight, trying to swing around the other side of the debris field probably would have been better with the HEP. And actually, I've just had a thought that's only just occurred to me. I'm there worrying about not being able to scoot round it. Wouldn't have frigging mattered if I couldn't scoot round it because I was already on it.
Yeah.
So long as I get off it, which is too hard with off. But hey, that's hindsight. Because I make a small mistake here with what I do with the bombers, I think. Because basically I go all in on Pam. Right. Sorry, that would have been me just flicking past stuff on it while we were watching it. So I do I think that was a 3 straight with the non-Kraken HMP and calculate. I 2 hard side slip to basically present shells / arcs to Poe and Ray with the Kraken carrying HMP. There we go.
Yep, HMP.
And then I 2 bank. Oh no, sorry, Pam goes first. So Chris is first player on this one.
And Pam does a 2 hard to the left, basically trying to duck in near Sunfac, because Sunfac would be quite hard pressed to actually get a tractor onto Pam. Almost certainly has a shot, but it won't be, the glory shot.
Yeah. And I two bank both my bombers to try and catch Pam. Neither of them. I think they're actually the bottom one maybe has arc.
Yeah. Zori then does a one bank to the right, basically landing just in front of the gunship.
And importantly, rotates her turret to the back.
Yeah.
Because she has a range one into the Kraken carrier, but she also then has a shot into the bombardment drones as well.
Exactly. Ray does a one bank to the right. No, maybe a two bank to the right. And looks like has taken a target lock onto the Kraken carrier.
Yep.
Then Poe does a 3 Talon, uses the power of Leia to make it white, and takes a target lock focus onto the Kraken carrier.
Yeah,
it looks like.
I'm trying to remember if he has bullseye. I can't remember. Sunfac does a one hard round the side of Pam, and I believe just takes a focus.
Yeah.
What I should have done here was not committed. Certainly both bombers to catching Pam. I thought Pam would reverse, and actually in hindsight, Chris was talking about it, saying, "Well, that just makes it easier for Sunfac to get rounds and do Sunfac things." He was hoping Sunfac would have gone faster and gone past. I think certainly the orange the orange bombardment drone should have. That's the one on the left as we're looking at it. Should have probably just done a K turn.
Yeah.
And then come back in the next turn. But so Poe doesn't have a HLC, but does have 3 dice into the
Kraken carrier. He does 2 damage and makes you drop the crate.
Yeah, because that's another crit through. I believe it's a blinded pilot. But I believe it's Sunfac blats Pam off. So at least there's that. So Pam drops her crate. Their crate. I think Ray goes into the HMP and ends up with 4 results.
Looks like you've got 2 of 8 because it's range 3.
Yeah, bear with me. No, let's do the buffery thing. No, I don't. I've got 2 grids. I don't think I got 2 of 8. So the Kraken carrier dies. Maybe it was Zori's shot as well to finish it off because we're into dials. But yeah, so it says 11-11. It's actually 10-7 in Chris's favour. And I'm currently towing 1 crate. And I believe Chris is towing 1 crate. So
no, I don't think Chris is towing.
I thought crates. Zori's.
I see 4 crates on the field.
Yeah, sorry, it's this turn he picks up.
Yeah.
So I do a 2 hard with the HMP and calculate, just slowly ambling back into the fight.
Yeah.
I do a 3 hard with the red bombardment drone and pick up the crate that Pam dropped. I do a 3 hard with the other one and calculate. It just misses the rock.
Which is like unfortunate and also fortunate. I'm not really sure what is the better option there.
When it comes to the next turn, fortunate.
So Zori does a 2 hard to the left and picks up a crate. Ray does a 1 straight
and picks up the crate.
So
we're 2-2, but I'm 3 points down.
Oof. Okay. Poe does a 3 hard to the right, facing down your gunship, and Sunfac does a 1 bank.
I 1 bank away, and I swear to God, when I looked at the dial, I thought I was 1 banking in, and it was just one of those stupid mistakes. Because I just wanted a range 3 bullseye shot into Ray. Because I knew the next turn she had to ion maneuver.
Yeah.
And she's on 6. If I could just plink 1 damage through, maybe 2 damage if I got really lucky. Like,
yeah,
if I can just finish off Ray, then
that would be the game.
That's it.
Realistically,
and I was convinced that I thought I'd 1-banked in. Clearly, I didn't.
Unfortunately, no, you did not.
So I 1-bank away, and I take a focus.
So Chris then basically shoots the gunship with Poe and Zori, I assume.
Yeah.
And Ray doesn't have a shot, is that? Or does have a range 3 shot into a... It looks like it does have a range 3 shot into a bombardment drone.
Into a bombardment drone. And plinks another damage off. And a blinded pilot, because there's another crit. And Zori does nothing, I think, into the Geonosian.
Yeah, it looks like the Geonosian literally took no damage from both Zori and Poe, which is quite nice.
But we're now 11-9 and still tied on crates. And I believe this is where we're about to have time called as well. So.
Yeah. Zori has lost her shields, funnily enough.
I think I fired the shell into her, so that's probably where
that makes sense.
They've disappeared to. And I'm guessing didn't get the crit because she hasn't. Oh no, hang on, has she dropped a crate?
She's dropped a crate.
Yeah, I must have fired the shell and nicked that crate off. So the HMP just does a 1 straight, flips, stabilizes, and calculates because I didn't think.
Interesting.
Well, I didn't think that Poe could. In fact, Poe couldn't 1 straight without hitting the gas cloud.
Yeah.
And I think that blocks the 2 straight. If he banks away, then he's probably banked past me.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I have a side arc, and then I can just side slip round it next turn. Like, I felt keeping the crate and trying to play a little safe was better. If I 2-harded, maybe I block Poe, but Zori just comes in behind. Because my assumption is Zori does a 1 straight or a 1 bank, and if she 1 banks, she can just rotate her turret.
Yeah. I was just thinking I was looking at the 2-hard, thinking, okay, I like the 2-hard because it probably gets inside Poe. Then you're just taking 1 shot from Zori.
Well, how Chris has been rolling, I was like, I'm not sure. I need to keep the crate. The orange bombardment drone 2-hards onto the rock and picks up the crate that I plinked off Zori. And the other bombardment drone 1-hards and calculates in an attempt to stay out of range of Ray. It doesn't work. And provide a calculate for the guy sat on the rock.
Okay, I was gonna say if your goal was to live with that guy, just straight, man, just.
Oh straight. No! I wanted the calculate and to be range 1 because I didn't want bombardment drones sat there with nothing.
Yeah, that's fair.
That guy, I'm pretty sure, is only on. I think that's the guy on 4. But
I think the guy on the rock is the guy on 2.
All right, fair.
That blinded pilot just got put on.
Oh yeah, exactly. And even more for a reason to not have him hanging around with no calculate.
So Ray does a 1 straight and focuses,
which triggers,
which gives Zori a focus. Zori does a 1 bank to the left,
and then interestingly rotates towards the bomber, not the HMP.
That is interesting.
I mean, if Chris kills that bomber, he wins.
Yes, true. I mean, actually, to be fair, in that regard, that makes perfect sense.
Some fact
target lock rotate. It looked like that was.
Yeah. No, they don't have target lock rotate. It was just a rotate. I think the lock.
How has he got the lock?
I don't know. I'm sure they don't have a target lock rotate because the dorsal turret gives them the rotate.
Does wartime loadout give them something stupid?
Don't know. He might have just had it from a previous turn.
Maybe.
Some fact there's a 1-hard because I didn't have afterburners. Otherwise, I would have 3-harded and boosted in. And I am an R here about what to do because I've probably got a range 3 turret shot. But I was like, ugh. So I opt to take a tractor, and I'm going to know what to do. Do I boost forwards, or do I barrel roll left and try and line up the bullseye? But I was like, do I really want to risk being in Ray's arc?
I think you.
If she'd been on less health, I would have.
If you think the bullseye will hit, you go for the bullseye.
It was close, and that's the problem.
Yeah, if it was, I think it's if you think it's definitely going to hit, you go for the bullseye.
Yeah.
If you don't, you go forwards, because realistically, Ray if Ray has a choice, Ray has to shoot someone and only has a focus. It's either the bomber or Sunfac, and if you can pass off that tractor,
but she also doesn't only have a focus, does she? Because it's Ray.
Oh yeah, true. No, yeah, I guess it's the ion.
The ion's finished now, and
yeah,
so she can still Finn, Rose.
Do her nonsense, yeah.
Yeah.
So then Poe does
a too hard
to the left
and stay stressed.
Yeah.
Obviously, I had to rotate my turret, and I rotated it to the front. Ray is in arc, but unfortunately not at range 1.
So cannot pass off that tractor token.
But I am not in Ray's arc.
That is also a good thing.
So I roll into Ray with Sunfac, and I believe... hang on. Do 1 damage.
Do 1 damage, looks like.
Oh, okay. So that shouldn't have ended there. Woe is me, but I happen to also know what happens for the rest of this game, so I'll just get back to that and run through it. So basically, it's currently 11-9 in Chris's favour. I don't do what I was hoping was the sneaky crit into Ray to make her drop the crate.
Right.
Nobody else dies or drops a crate. I score 3. Chris scores 1.
12-12.
12-12. Like, to be fair, Ray is range 2 and it's obstructed.
Yeah, so it's 3 on 3. You have a calculate.
The
Zori's turret may very well be out of range.
I think it was in range, but again, range 2 obstructed.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I score 3, Chris scores 1, and we go to 12-12, and we road roll, and I lose.
Oh baby!
And it's interesting because, as I've talked about, I don't think my setup was great, and I don't think I certainly made some mistakes during play, and still managed to claw it back to a draw.
So the funny thing is now seeing how this goes, and this is super hindsight Andy. My idea of side-slipping the gunship the other way would not have helped, because you wouldn't have baited Zori and Poe to come after this gunship.
Yeah.
Because they accomplished nothing doing that. They would have just turned back towards your stuff and would likely be like range 1-ing your bombardment drones.
Yeah.
And that would have almost certainly lost you the game. Realistically, like if Poe was having better shots, as in like...
Yeah, I completely agree.
So super hindsight Andy, yes, baiting Poe and Zori into going this way and accomplishing very little was fantastic.
But they could have, like, all they had to do was sneak 1 crit through on my 1 green ship, and
yeah.
But I went 10 wins and a draw for the tournament, so I'm quite happy with that. This was a good match. I didn't lose Sunfac once.
Yeah. In fact, Sunfac didn't even get shot this round, did he?
Yeah, I don't think I lost him once over the course of the games. It's good. It's
very solid.
Very solid. Like, yeah, I've talked about the stuff I think I did wrong, and you know.
Yeah. What interested me about the way Chris played this game is I'm very reminded of that game I can't remember if we put this on the podcast, but when I had like Aura and Cad and Sunfac against this sort of list, and I essentially played keep away from your bombardment drones the entire time.
Yeah.
Because it felt like that's what Poe and Ray were trying to do.
Yeah, I
Like,
think
just making it really hard for your bombardment drones to get their value, and then at that point you needed Sunfac and the Geonosians to do work. And I would argue that the Geonosians did do work.
Yeah.
That guy holding the crate from turn 2 basically solidified you a massive amount of points.
Yeah, I think a lot of that stems from the match the day before in Swiss, because
Yeah.
I think I managed to drop 3 or 4 prox mines on Ray.
Yeah, I mean that'll chunk him.
I blatted Pam and Zori off the board as well.
Yeah,
and it was like fair. But
it
yeah,
was like a couple of turns ago. I was looking. It's like, oh, you know what? Poe and Ray are like slowly coming up behind the bombardment drones, and if they just keep shooting, the bombers will die.
yeah.
And like, Sean can drop prox mines in the way, but it's sort of like there's enough distance that neither Ray nor Poe have to really go over them.
I do feel like I should have at some point just dropped some to gum up.
Yeah,
because
I actually thought on the turn where you originally turned into the center, that when you knew Ray was coming in behind you, I thought because you knew you were turning away, just drop some prox mines, make it so that Ray can't come in that gap, and that so that way if the 3 sleep had happened, then Ray has to like turn to the right or run straight over prox mines.
Yeah. Like, the problem, I think that in that one it was early enough that I still wanted to yeet at Zori and Pam and get because they're the ones I can plink enough damage to on to finish them up the next round with prox mines.
Yeah.
But I think certainly by the time it got to the engage where before Zori died and stuff, I should have just started dropping some to gum up places and made things harder because I knew I was flying away from them. But I did the classic, I'm waiting for I want to make sure this hits, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And that often is the right thing to do. But I think at that point, when you were like, I need things to happen to win, you sort of had to be like, I need Chris to mess up. So let's like drop these prox mines, make it so that Ray doesn't want to just one straight at me.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if there are prox mines in the way, especially when you knew Ray was going to be ion maneuvering.
Yeah. Well, probably like that turn, I was round the back of the rocks. So
I mean, I know that. I just mean like the turn before, you knew Ray was going to be ion maneuvering in the next turn or two. So just drop some prox mines, make it so that if Chris has not anticipated you dropping these prox mines, the ion maneuver will roll onto them.
Yeah. But it was an interesting.
It was a very, very close game.
Yeah, as it almost always is between me and Chris. But yeah, I don't really have a huge much more to say about that. Kind of covered it as we went along.
Yeah. I'm trying to work out, like, I think Chris played well. I think I'm amazed he did no damage to your Geonosian prototype with both.
Yeah, so am I. But...
I'm just like I'm trying to think like it's like one of the things where like had damage been done, maybe they try to shoot at that guy instead. I don't know, but even then, like we knew that Poe wasn't going to be able to shoot, like no matter what he did.
I'm trying to look at the side because they may well have done damage and just no crits, and the overlay wasn't updated. I can't tell from here, if I'm honest. There's a whole massive pile of damage. My guess is it's off the bottom right of the screen.
Yeah.
Bottom left, sorry. But yeah.
But that's about it.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up there for this week. We'll be back next week with probably not any more national stuff, so probably a game Sam and I are playing. It might, in my side, be AMG points because I am going up to Hemel in a couple of weeks now.
Yep, makes sense. I'll probably be using XWA points.
That's fine. I literally just want time on the table with it, so I don't mind what I fly against. On that note, we'll wrap it up and just say see you guys next week.
Yeah, ta-ta from me.